So now we've done our cuffs on our sleeves, we're going to move down to our hemband, and that's going to go just around the hem there. Once again, just like with our other ribbing that we've done, it is slightly narrower, and we're going to sort of draw our dress into our hemband. So I'm going to move my dress just out of the way for a sec, and let's take these two hemband pieces, and I just want to put them right sides together. Move this back a bit so you can see. So there we go, right sides together with the two pieces. And with these hembands you're going to have a seam at either side, which will match up with your side seams on your dress. So the first thing to do is just to sew or overlock together these sides, and that's with a 1.5 centimetre seam allowance. And then once you've done that, you can do the same as we did before and press. If you're sewing machine, you'll press those seam allowances open and flat. If you're on an overlocker, you'll just press them to one side. And then just like with our other ribbed areas, we fold in half. So overlock down either side, press, and then fold in half, and then we'll be ready to fit this on our dress. There we go, so there's my hemband. So raw edges matching, folded that in half and pressed those seam allowances flat at either side. So now we're going to pop this onto our dress. So there's the hem of our dress, and there's our hemband, and you can see how much narrower it is, and we're going to have to sort of stretch this, and it will just pull that in, and you'll get that kind of soft bubble shape at the bottom. Okay, so before we attach our hemband to our dress, let's just find our halfway points, our centre front and centre back points. So I am just going to fold this like so and match those seams up together, and just put a clip here at that's going to be the front or the back, and then on the other side there is no front and back to this rib, it's the same both sides, but I've now got sort of the rib marked out into quarters because I've got the side seam, and I've got two clips, and this will help me fit it onto the dress. And then I'll do the same with the dress. I've already got my side seams, so if I put those side seams together and then pull that out, whoops, and then I can put a clip there, and same on the other side. There we are, so that's now divided up into quarters as well. So I've got my markers there. At the moment the raw edges are together. We're going to flip that round, and we're going to pull the dress through the middle of that tube of rib so that the raw edges are together. Okay, so that dress is now sandwiched between the rib. Then what we can do is where those two are, we can match them up. Raw edges matching. Same on the back. where those two clips are. Just match them up. And then I can come round to the side seams and match them. And on the other side. There we go. Right, so then you can see how much excess you've got, and when you come to do your sewing, you're going to have to stretch that rib to accommodate that excess fabric there and create that soft sort of blouson-y kind of sweatshirt shape. So I might just put in an additional one to clip halfway, so I'll end up with 8 sort of points where my rib and my sweatshirt are attached together. And then, just like before, we're going to baste all of this together before overlocking it. So you can kind of pull it to fit and put your clip, because you want that to kind of be even. You don't want to match it up all the way around and then get to the end and have a great huge bit of excess fabric. You want that excess to be evenly distributed all the way around the hem, which is why we're kind of doing it in halves and then quarters and then eighths, with each wonder clip there holding a little bit in place. There we go. There we are. So I've now got my rib attached or clipped in place all the way around. My raw edges are all together. I've got an even amount that I'm going to have to stretch in between each of those clips. It's a manageable amount, and my side seams are matching. So I'm ready to hop over to my machine and just do a basting stitch to hold it all together. I'll take off my free arm. The hem is plenty big enough to fit, but it just allows me to kind of come round in a nice circle. Tuck the dress under there. Oh, sorry, I knocked the camera thingy. Right then, we'll start at the side seam somewhere. Never start in the centre front, always start at the side where it's a bit more hidden. I'm just going to come in about 1 centimetre. Remember, these are just basting stitches, so they're just there to hold everything in place. So I've got my rib on top and I've got my fabric on the bottom, and I'm going to sew in between each pair of clips or pins, and I'm just going to stretch it out in between each one, just like I did with the neckband, and I'll get that lovely sort of blouson-y effect. This jersey's wanting to curl up a bit, so I'm just teasing it out, making sure that it's not curling, and making sure that those raw edges are matching all the way around. It'd be nice, I was just thinking, if there was a children's version of this, because I think this would be a great girl's dress, or boys' jumper. Just making sure there's no tucks or pleats. I want this to be a nice smooth seam, no gathers at the hem. It's just a case of stretching in. And this rib will stretch a lot. There you go, so I've gone all the way round in a circle, and let's just switch that machine off. So you're now gonna just check your work before going over to the overlocker or before doing your final stretch stitch, and I think it's the final seam of the project. Hurrah! Okay, let's move the camera back a bit so we can see where we're at. So what you want to do at this stage is, like I say, basting stitches really easy to undo and correct. So you just want to go around your hem and just check. It is going to have a slightly gathered appearance because it's been stretched in, but you don't want any actual pleats as such. You just want that seam to be smooth all the way round. So just kind of go round and check if you're happy, and I think I am. So now, we are just going to go over to the overlocker and overlock that seam. If you're using a sewing machine, then you will just go over and sew that seam now that you've basted it and you're happy with it. And then you can go back and undo those basting stitches if you want to do that later. And like I say, each time you're doing these basting stitches, you can change your thread to a bright colour if you like, so that they're easier to pick out. With overlocking, I rather don't like doing that because they sometimes just get caught up and they're impossible to pick out, and then you've got these bright bits of thread everywhere. So there we go. So I'm going to go over to my overlocker and finish that off. I'm quite excited because we get to try it on soon. Hey, how have you been doing? Let me know in the comments. Are you using an overlocker or a sewing machine, and have I adequately explained? If you're using a sewing machine, I know I'm using an overlocker. Do you find it easy to follow even if you're not doing exactly the same as me? How are you getting on? And yeah, let me know. I'd love to sort of know how you get on and what fabric you're using, and how you're getting on with making your sweater. So I'm going to hop over to my overlocker, finish that final seam, and then we're done. Yay, yay, yay. I also should let you know, I've been playing Bobbin Chicken. Can you see? Who plays Bobbin Chicken? This is where you just literally are running out of bobbin thread. Look, let's have a look. Oh, no, there's a bit left. Look at that. Nearly out. So it uses up exactly one bobbin of thread, this project, if you're doing overlocking and you're just using the bobbin for the basting. So there we go, I managed to make it last. Right, over to the overlocker. Right then, one final seam. Pop that under my foot, lower that, and again, I'm not going to cut a notch in, I'm just going to kind of angle it in until I'm at the 1.5, and then I'll even it off at the end. And I'll just make sure again that everything's sitting beautifully flat as I go round. And again, you just want to be conscious of the fact of keeping everything even, as you don't want your hemband to be wider in some places and narrower in others. So just keep nice and consistent as you go round. And I am having to stretch a little bit as I'm going round as well. And that's all overlocked. Ta-da! Hem finished. And that is our dress made. So I am going to go and try this on now. And if you want to show me what you're making, then I have a Facebook group called the Flying Bobbins VIPs. So if you just search on Facebook Flying Bobbins VIP and join the group, and you can share your makes and share tips and have fun and talk to other people who like sewing. So I'm going to give this a really good press, and then I'm going to try it on. Yay! Give yourself a round of applause. Well done.